Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever this ends up being for you ladies when you watch it. Um, we wanted to come on today, Tamara and Courtney and I, and talk about our bodies and what they do for us, and maybe some of the hard things that we say to ourselves, and also how our mindsets impact what our bodies are doing for us. And maybe we don't even quite realize that. But we were having a conversation earlier today when Tamara and I were working out, and I was telling her that when I sit down and I get a roll on my stomach, I'm grabbing it and I'm like, I love you. And like it's its own thing. Because I think, like, I'm not really sure why we beat ourselves up, or like, we if you go to the pool and you think, oh, I can't possibly wear a bathing suit. Like, this is one thing we were talking about, Courtney. You'll get a kick out of this one. I was like, well, like, if you felt like maybe some guys were like sitting there and there might be some judgment going on, where like maybe some young girls walk out and they're like, oh yeah, they're checking them out, and then like I'd walk out with like, like the rolls and like the loose skin and stuff, because that's something that has been put in here, and they'd be like, oh god, like, and then I was just saying, like, you didn't need to look and objectify me, thank you very much. Because then that becomes their problem. The person with the problem is the person with the problem. And if someone has a problem with my body and thinks that I shouldn't show it because I've had 4 kids and my skin is stretched out and my stomach is stretched out, and that's not okay for them to look at, that's not my problem.
Yes, I love that so much. And I'm really feeling the same way. Like, Court is probably going to have like a completely different take on this because she has this beautiful little 20-year-old body that me and Devin used to have. But yeah, like being a mom, right? We have it in our heads that like our bodies are supposed to look a certain way. We see it in social media, we see it in magazines, it's around us all the time. Even like online shopping, trying to find bathing suits, right? Our head goes to that place of like, am I going to look that good in that? Like, heck yeah, we're going to look that good because our bodies are amazing. And the fact that we carried babies, like that's just a miracle in itself. And Dev, we were just talking this morning about like our bellies and stuff. And I'm just going to be completely transparent. I don't love clothes. So I spend a lot of time not wearing them. And like our family is very close, very open. A lot of people find that super weird. But my husband will just be like, where are your pants now? I'm like, I just didn't feel like wearing them. I'll like walk around the corner. He's like, okay, now your shirt's gone. Like, well, I was feeling a little warm. But I'm just like embracing my body and I'm loving it. And I feel like I'm building more confidence around it. But like I still have those struggles and I think we all do, where our head just goes to that place of like wanting to make other people comfortable with what our bodies look like. And I really think that is something that we need to work on overcoming as women because it's crap.
Mm-hmm. Courtney, get in there.
Well, let's see here. I just think, like, when you said we were going to be talking about our bodies and just like what we say to them and how we talk to them and how we feel about them, it just made me think of like how we've been working out. And then you were just saying how like you were a little bit disappointed with not having the same effect as when you did the last time, right? You were saying that like last time you lost however much amount of weight and it was amazing and this and that. And this time it's different, and we were talking about like why that might be. And you said that you had some breakthroughs and stuff with like Wileen, and I think that it's totally true that what you're telling yourself is probably the difference, and like what you're focusing on is what the difference is, right? Because I mean, you're the same person
Yeah.
and you're doing the same program, right? So it's got to be that. And you know, and I think that it's probably like a cycle of not seeing results and then feeling maybe upset about it, right? And I think by the end of the day you're feeling a lot better because we just had fun with our photo shoot and stuff like that. And I just said to you, like, why do you have to be skinny to feel good? Like, why can't yeah, and like you feel so strong, and you've been saying that, and you've just been loving your body, and it's such a difference. And I believe that you're going to see results different now because you're feeling different now, you know.
Yeah, and I was just telling Tamara, I jumped on the scale this morning, and like I'm down another 2 pounds in a week. So instead of like
healthy
gaining, now I'm down. Yeah, like it's just over a week. And but I can tell for myself that what I'm putting into my body mentally is the making the difference. Because let me tell you what I ate just the other day with my kids here. I was not following the portion plan. I didn't have the containers out or anything. It was like, oh, there's chocolate chip cookies sitting there. They look lonely. They probably should go in my mouth. Yeah. So it was that, and it was the Rice Krispies that I ate down the lake. And at the end of the day, it was one of those moments where you cringe and you feel it. You're just like, why did I do that to myself? Because I could feel it sitting like lead in my stomach. And I didn't enjoy that. But I think that I can have those days. I am not like on this mission to just be like, oh, you know, like it's just going to be kale for me. And if Aubrey watched this, I think she'd feel because she was eating kale at UFD and trying to like
kicked all over the floor.
To like make it a little bit better so she could get it down. But I think there's beauty in well, actually, Courtney, what you said to me more than any of the other things that you were talking about that really stood out to me is you said, and what is wrong with your body? And I said, I don't know. And you said, nothing. Nothing is wrong with your body. Your body is perfect. And that stood out to me more than the, you know, why do you have to have a skinny body? Like, I don't have to have a skinny body. Do I want to have a strong body? Yes. And am I strong? Yes. So when I can start changing my mindset and my concept of and define actually what I want, then my body probably will understand that. But when I just say, oh, I just want skinny, but here I am, you know, weight training and doing HIIT training, which builds muscle, my body probably doesn't even know what the heck is going on. Yeah. Because I'm saying I want one thing, but I'm giving it something else. And I'm giving it creatine to build the muscle. So if you just want skinny, how are you going to get skinny by doing HIIT training with excessive push-ups and taking creatine and protein powder? I don't know how. Like, I'm just thinking about this right now, and I'm like, how does that even make any sense?
I love that so much, because like that's where I'm at too. We're like doing all of the things to build muscle and to strengthen our bodies, and then we wonder, there's like a battle in our brains. And I think like, what would I rather be right now? 152 pounds, happy and healthy and strong as a mother effer, or be 108 pounds and be so depressed and anxious ridden and unhappy and still searching for happiness in a smaller number on the scale in my clothes? Absolutely, I'm going to choose where I'm at right now. And my body knows that. And I know there's definitely, like, just talking about like the breakthroughs and stuff, I really feel like definitely what you feed your mind completely comes out in your body. And that's the transformation that I talk about so often with my girls, is that when the changes start happening up here, everything else just naturally starts to transform. You can't transform from the outside in. It doesn't work that way. And there's this like mixed conception in there of what that actually looks like and how that works. But starting on the inside, it all just comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And if something isn't happening on the outside that we don't love, then that's where we need to figure out what we need to change up here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, another thing that I think of too is just like, honestly, sometimes it's just a wake-up call for ourselves on the goals that we're making for ourselves. Like, why do we need to have a goal to lose 5 pounds? Like, what is that going to do for you? You know, why does that number matter so much to you? Right?
Yeah.
Well, I think, and I've talked about this before too, like where, well, I was just talking about it actually this morning. I did a live video in the mastermind group that I'm a part of, where I was saying, like, when you change something like your mindset in how you view yourself, I can see that there's going to be a continual shift, and it's not even going to be work, because it's I've already put in the work by changing my mindset. I'm doing all the things to get my body to a better place. Granted, I probably shouldn't eat like just Rice Krispie squares and cookies all day for a day, but guess what? That's not gonna like, I'm not gonna gain 10 pounds from that.
No,
Like,
and that's like the saying where like you're not gonna gain 10 pounds by eating pizza, just like you're not gonna lose the weight overnight, right?
no.
And it's
But
about
I think
balance.
we put it is about balance, but I think we put it here where we think, oh, I have to deprive myself of all, like, I know so many girls, like from when I was younger, that would be like, I can't eat any carbs because I want to go out and drink. So that's my carbs for the day.
And
because
I'm like, let's have drinks and pizza.
At the same time.
Yes.
Yes. But it doesn't, it's not going to, I think before there would be, and it doesn't always show up like really loud, where your mind goes to this place and it's like, whoa, you know, you're gonna like gain. No, it doesn't do that. What it does though is it self-sabotages, and it sneaks in, and it's like, oh, you should not have eaten that. You should, you know, like, that's not good for you. And you start saying these things to yourself that create negative connotation around food. This is what, like, I've done, just speaking from my own experience. And when I was younger, and I think Courtney and I talked about this when we did finish Insanity and we were doing our Goofy photo shoot. When I was younger, when I was in my 20s and teens, I didn't think about food at all. I ate whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted it. And I think the thing, oh, did I hear reverb there?
Yeah.
Okay. I think the things that changed my mindset were all the things that society says to you, that brings forward to you, which is like, oh, your body's going to change. It doesn't stay the same, you know, like all these things that you aren't, and you don't really know that actually, like, at that time, I didn't know how much words had power.
Yeah.
And so then, like, I'm sure, like, I took in all these things, especially after having kids.
Yeah.
Where I like started believing things about my body and about myself and how it couldn't, you know, bounce back after having kids, and it would be really hard, and like all these different things. And what I'm starting to like figure out is that when you feed your soul and you feed your mindset, everything, all this physical stuff is just an internal expression of what's going on inside you. So if you can get through, like, it's not about, because like Tamara, we were talking about this with the fitness aspect of it and everything. I said, like, how many people join into a group and they're so excited and they're so gung-ho in the first like week or two, and then they fall off. They drop off, you know, their New Year's resolution wears out, and like, what is that? Is like, what belief systems are sabotaging?
Like there's so much fear of, I don't know, fear, failure, all of the things that are going to go wrong. And then
Well,
that just starts to eat at a person.
yes. Is it your body? Like when we're listening
Yeah.
to coaches and the coaches are teaching us, like we just use Beachbody because we use that, right?
Yeah.
But the coaches are always teaching you this mindset. It's not
Yeah.
your body. Your body is capable of very hard things, even if you are overweight.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's always capable of hard things. So it's never about what your body can do or can't do. You can always move your body.
And how often do we hear it during our programs? Your mind is going to keep going. Your body is going to want to quit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think, like just feeding, what are we feeding ourselves? What, not physically, not what we're putting into our body. I mean, yes, granted, but I would argue and go back to our conversation about addiction with food addiction and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What is that stemming from? Because there's a belief system going on behind that as well that is saying I'm not worthy, or I'm not capable, or I'm not valuable. And and you're, when we were talking about addiction, it's like you're trying to cover up something, so this is what you're doing to fill that side of yourself up.
Absolutely.
So like, I just think about, it's more than just what we're eating to put in our body. It is more about what's up here in our head and in what's going on in our mindset that makes us capable of physically moving our body, and the grace and the compassion that we will give our body when we're understanding that we're just human and that all bodies are beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, why
Amen,
do we
sister.
right? Why do we have to sit back and judge?
And Deb, I love how you just said, like, we need to give ourselves grace, because here's the thing, and we had a little bit of a conversation about this. I would never, ever come up to you and speak to you the way that I negatively speak to my own body. Or I would never go to Courtney, or I would never talk to my daughter that way. So why on earth do we feel like it's okay to talk down about our own bodies? It's not.
It isn't. And that in itself hurts.
Yeah.
And that hurts more than you quite realize, because when you go, and like I've done some breakthroughs on that. And when I was going like back into like some childhood things that I was going through, and I was just like looking at this person, like at this little girl, and I had to think about that and think about what was being said. That like broke my heart, and it brought me to tears, because I can't imagine why anyone would say the kind of things that were being said, like that I created for myself. It broke my heart, and it made me just like, I can't even really explain it. It made me feel so much. And when we watch all these videos, there's like lots of videos out, nowadays, where they're like, why would you say that to yourself? Like, and there was one I seen with like little sisters and the older sisters, like they're together, but like the little sisters are sitting behind the screen, and the older sisters are like out, and they're like talking about these things. And then the little sisters come out and they're like, you're my hero. And like, you've done like, after the older sisters are just like, yeah, I'm not really good at this, and I suck at that, and all that stuff. And the little sisters come out, and they revere their older sisters so much. And they watched their older sisters say the things that they were saying about themselves. And that's what we need to remember. I don't care if you are a mom or you're not a mom. There's a lot of people watching.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's not like, that's not something you want people to remember you for, is all the things that you said that were not good about yourself or your body, or about giving your body grace.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's so powerful for us to remember the importance of the words that we speak to ourselves. We read personal development books on personal growth and mindset and all of these things, and that is a huge part of it, is our mindset around our bodies. And I know that's just for women in general, not necessarily just us as moms, but with everything that we're told about our bodies, all of the things that we're not supposed to be. And those are the things that we fight against, right? We have this battle where we're trying to become these things that everybody else says that we're supposed to be. And I think when we can just step into our own and realize how incredible our bodies are as an individual, that's where that shift starts to happen too.
Yeah. Less about the competition, right? Like a lot of times, you got to watch what you're paying attention to. If you're, admiring these women on Instagram that are like this big because they're starving themselves,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah. And then too, we talked about this, like, when it comes to like workout knowledge, you have a lot of it, but not all of it is benefiting you too, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the stuff that you've learned over the years isn't necessarily, for example, what the doctor said about your abs, and that held you back from being able to do crunchies. You're like, nope, can't do them because my abs are separated and this and that, right?
Crunchy.
And do them a lot. Oh,
Yes.
sit-ups, crunchies, whatever.
I love it. I like it. Crunchies it is.
See, you know about fitness more than me, whatever. There's another example.
Oh, I love it. That's the best.
No, it is. I 100% agree. And actually, we were just talking about this morning because I started doing ADD obsession, and I like could do things that I couldn't do when I first started that program. Like whenever that program
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
2 years ago,
Yeah, came out. I couldn't go up into a side plank and freaking pull my knee up and balance. Like that was not happening, and I did it today. All of it, every single last bit of it. I did all the hard workouts that I would have said I couldn't do. But what I'm noticing is happening is because my body, we're talking about like belief system breakthroughs and stuff, my whole abs, like all of that's sitting on top of my rib cage, because I'm pushing my body and I'm like, you can do this. You can do this hard stuff for your abs. It's not a problem, right? But I'm doing that and I'm pushing and I'm tearing. And then I'm sore. So I'm like, okay, so maybe I can't do 15 tricep push-ups, but I can do 8. And then I can do the rest on my knees.
Yeah, and you don't have to compare to anybody. You show up for you and you do the best that you can do where you're at.
Totally. And I'm still moving my body, and I'm respecting my body, and I'm honoring my body. It's not because I can't give, but I want to be able to do it tomorrow. I want to be able to get out of bed tomorrow. So that's where I'm at with. So I think it's like, yeah, it's funny that you brought that up, because I literally, we could post that video of me. I'm like, I could do it, but I swear I could not do it. Like I couldn't. And all my friends that would watch me try, I'm like, no, look, see? And then I'd like get my head up, and that was it. It'd be like this, and then I'd go down. Mentally, there was a huge block there. And then it was unblocked because Courtney called me out on the fact that I just had done a sit-up while trying to turn around. And as soon as that happened, then all of a sudden that block came out, and I was like, you just watched me do that? Like it was like an out-of-body experience. And then I did it.
And then I did it.
And then I did it
right?
with the weight.
That is proof right there. Mind over matter.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
Oh yeah. You can push through all the hard things in life.
Yeah,
it doesn't, and how you do one thing, you do all. So better work my abs more.
What is tomorrow? I think we're doing something with our butts tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe.
I want in on this.
Yeah. So I think this was kind of a goofy sesh, and
this is what you
I
get
really
at the end of our day.
Yeah, it was just a fun and loving session, and I think hopefully, I know actually a lot of women can relate to, feeling all the things
Yeah.
about their body. Or you have friends that are feeling those things and then you're calling them out on it. So there's that end of it too, but which is always great. But yeah, just love your bodies and be good
Yes,
to them and they'll be good to you.
absolutely.
So we love you, all of you ladies,
Love
and have a
y'all.
lovely evening.
Bye.
Bye.